podcast where the devil is in D's nails. I'm Atlas Novak. I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
Dino the genetic marvel. I am your Gen Xer.
And I'm Cole Clayton, and I'm back to bare minimum Cole.
Even though your mustache is like full on snidely whiplash, tie your girlfriend to the train tracks.
There's no gel in here. It just does it itself.
Wow, that's impressive.
I kind of guide it, but it does it. It does the rest itself.
For people listening,
it's just
I feel
totally,
sorry for you. You're missing out on this mustache.
It's like you know how like Joe Dirt is so white trash it just grows in like that.
Yeah,
well, I'm such a fucking villain. It just grows like that.
I feel like everyone during that time had that mustache, or it kind of came out like that. Like, I don't feel like you can say I'm a villain until you really put that person on the train tracks, you know. And then you're like, you're definitely a villain. For now, but timing is everything.
Trolley problem. This you.
I'm so tired of people taking the context out of the villain. Oh, he put the girl on the train tracks. Okay, but why?
Yeah,
let's figure out why first before we villainize him.
She's been running her mouth, and you know what? Maybe she wants to be independent. She can be independent, tying herself out of that rope. So
child support is so expensive.
I feel like for like villains like that, it's always the guy trying to get money or whatever. Like if I I do this, I ransom the girl for the hero, and then like if we just had a social safety net where people wouldn't have to be wanting so much for money and could like have housing and healthcare and stuff, he wouldn't have to go out and tie the girlfriend to the train tracks.
But then our entertainment would suffer.
So what?
Our television would be so bad if everything was fair in life.
There's like a Family Guy thing, the even couple, where it's like this isn't spaghetti, it's linguine. It's like, you're right. I should listen more. Like they're just agreeing with each other. There's no conflict in this movie.
You know what? I'll tell you this much. And you know what, Atlas? You're engaged, so you're going to see this as you start associating with only married couples, because that's a phase of being married. You're like, well, we should only hang with other married couples. It gets weird, but you'll hear people like, oh, we don't argue. You're like, and after a while, you realize, oh, you're not really married. You're just roommates. You're not. You just share expenses. You're not married, because when you're married, you will argue about dumb shit. Dumbest shit ever. Let's put it this way. I have argued because my keys were here and I left them here. How dare you in your insolence move my keys 4 inches, okay?
See, now
I moved everything. That reminds me, my bad, Alice, I'm going to cut you off for just a half a second. Because Dino reminded me of something I did to my baby mama while we were together. She pissed me off so fucking bad in like year 4, okay? We were together 7 years. And I remember it was year 4. I don't know why it was year 4. But at that point, I was done, okay? I had 3 more years left. I didn't know it. Thought it was the rest of my life still. But she pissed me off so bad that I moved all the furniture to the left like 6 inches.
Yeah.
And she kept like stubbing her toe or setting shit down and dropping it to the floor. It was the funniest shit, dude.
Oh my God, I have to do this.
You don't know the level of petty, man.
Be very careful with that, because if you move everything, sometimes they figure it out. You have to move just certain things.
No, I moved everything. I moved everything to the left while she was at work.
It's the syndrome thing. If everyone's super, no one is. If everything's moved 6 inches to the left,
you can't tell. You can't tell if everything's moved. It just looks like the house is shifted.
It can be. It can be. It's a weird thing.
Like it's the whole day too. She was just like,
okay.
What?
She's watching. She's like, her keys had legs. Yeah, she remembers that conversation, because I get so mad about it. No, dude,
oh my God.
That's moving stuff purposefully. One of the things is also hiding the spare toilet paper in the bathroom. So if your significant other does not replenish the toilet paper, okay,
no choice, she's gone.
And then you have to penguin it over to get more, okay, you will immediately start hiding toilet paper until they realize, hey, we're a team. whoever made it run out. Okay, if you left one square, you ran out. Okay, bring another win. Just do that.
They're a get the toilet paper and then don't put it on the roll. Drives me nuts.
That's a monster.
You know what? I don't.
Oh, you know what's even more of a monster?
I lost
bottom.
the little plastic roll thing years ago. I don't.
Oh, okay. That's better, I guess.
Every once in a while, it falls in the sink.
Yeah.
It gets a little wet. It's fine. It's a little. It gets the dot done a little better.
If the toilet paper gets wet, it's a spa day now. It's fine.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
That's a spa
it's
day.
warm. You know, like.
Oh my god.
Can we talk about for a second that I have a weird affinity for cold toilet seats?
No.
Oh.
No, we can't. We don't have to talk about this. We can move on with our lives.
I'm just saying, I would rather sit on a cold toilet seat than a warm one.
Okay, I understand warmth
especially
being
if you live by
associated
yourself.
with someone just being there. I get that.
Yeah.
But like a seat heater.
Okay, yeah, okay.
that's
If it's
different.
like a
That's
heated
luxury.
seat, that's one thing. Although it's still like shocking. You're like, oh, why is it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just heated. All right.
Well, no, because
Heat
usually you can see like
warmed.
the dials and stuff, right?
I totally wait 20 to 30 minutes after somebody else takes a shit before I take a shit. That's just how I've always been.
That's not unreasonable.
As a kid who grew up with 6 other kids, or 5 other kids, and 1.5 adults at any given time, I always waited. I always watched the bathroom. You know what I mean? I know it's a weird thing.
Did it ever get to like minute 29 and then someone would go in the bathroom again? You're like, motherfucker, the clock reset.
Hey,
Yes.
I'll tell you right now, that sounds like Cole was the midnight shitter. Like everyone went to sleep and he's like, do newspaper and everything. He's like 6 years old. He's got a newspaper on his knee. He's like, yep, it's my time.
Oh,
My
let's
time to
just,
shit, baby. That's
let's just put it like this. I have a really big chamber.
You hear the door close. It's like 1 a.m. You're working on my night moves.
Oh shit! You just
joking.
pee on a wall back in the day. Like you just go outside, piss on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm from the South, so like I'm a little more woodsy than most. But
yeah, less public urination charges out there.
I feel like there should be like a wall that's specifically for public urination, men and women.
it should be all local PDs.
There's
Police departments.
in San Luis Obispo, there's something called the Wall of Gum, where it's just an alley that people put their bubble gum on, like chewed up bubble gum.
Yeah, that's gross.
So just that, but for pee, right? You never know whose pee would have been in that alley.
I don't think people will take selfies when they're peeing.
Dude, so many people take shitting selfies.
Do they?
Yeah, dude.
I've
Not like you don't see anything, but they're on the toilet and they're taking a piss. They take a picture and then they caption it, "I'm taking a shit" all the time, dude. It's like there's some things you just don't, need. Like
honestly, that was one thing that for Victoria and I was like the bathroom is a single
Sacred.
occupancy experience.
Yeah, no, I never saw my baby mama take a piss. She never saw me take a piss or anything like that. Actually,
I have a friend who likes to pee with the door open, and I'm like, "You're disgusting."
I'll do it if I'm home alone, but
he's married and has 3 kids, and I'm like, "You're teaching those boys to pee with the door open." He's like, "What's the big deal?" I'm like, "You're a fucking weirdo."
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of tap the door with my foot a little to get it to swing closed, but it ain't closed.
That's
but it's
fine.
Closed.
That's your house, and
no, I've always been that way my entire life. But
you are a monster. That's fair.
You can't see nothing, but you can hear everything.
It's about you offer people a mystery. If
unless
they want to solve
I'm
it,
taking a
they're
shit, then I
welcome
close
to.
and lock the door. If I'm taking a shit, I'm closing and locking the door. But if I'm taking a piss, I'm not in the bathroom long enough to need to close the door. You know what I mean? Like it's in and out.
I feel like it's mostly because you're vulnerable pooping, but if you're peeing, you have a defense. You just go for it. What?
That's if you're a guy. I feel like for women, it's
well, you always have to sit down when you're a woman. So I don't know how it works. I haven't seen it.
Something P is stored at the balls or whatever. I don't know. You guys.
Oh, but back to the whole like long waits thing, dude.
Yeah.
My mom used to just be erratic. We would just go on a trip out of nowhere. You could ask her about it. She'd just be like, "We're going to New Orleans from Houston, 8-hour drive." And then like 4 hours in, I'd be like, "Mom, I'm 9, 10, 11 years old." I'm like, "Mom, I need to pee." She's like, "We're not stopping." So,
Oh my
like,
god.
hold it for fucking 6, 7 hours, man. Just now, if I gotta go, I gotta go. Like, it's like, it's now, dude. And I'll take a piss, and it'll be like a sprinkle, and I'm done. You know what I mean? And I was like, why did I have to go so bad?
So on that note, I had the same problem. You should get yourself checked for diabetes.
It can also be like, your body tends to signal when you have to pee when your bladder's about 25% full. And then if you have Parkinson's, like my dad does, the signal doesn't go off until about 90%.
Damn.
So when he pees, it's like the scene in Austin Powers where like he comes out of cryogenics and it's like just like 2 consecutive minutes of piss. Just
don't tell me about this diabetes shit though, because the people will be like, that people have told me that before. I'll be like, I'm thirsty like all the time. I could just drink water all day long, and they're like, yeah, you probably have diabetes. I'm like,
so the good thing is that also too, do you find that your moods can be a little bit erratic?
Well, I'm bipolar.
Yeah, well, you may not be. You may just have diabetes. I'm not even joking. Yeah. So like I went to the hospital. I was like, I don't feel well. And he's like, okay, well, let's just do a bunch of tests. I'm like, listen, bro, I don't want to die, but I'm fat as fuck. What are you going to do? Right. He went, did a bunch of tests. He goes, hey, yeah, your sugar, it was so, your sugar level in Canada, it's different in the States, but it's supposed to be between,
it's different based off where you live.
No. It's a different way of categorizing it. I don't know what they do. They do it different in Europe and also in the States, and they do it different in Canada. Don't know why. Oh, but anyways, okay. So it's should have between 4 and 8 or 5 and 7, like in and around there. And he's like, yours is 22, and I'm like, God, Jesus, you know
the fuck,
yeah. And that's your brain doesn't like. That's when you have really strong mood swings and stuff like that. That's why it's like you may actually not be bipolar. You may just because remember, diabetes is like the plague. Up until they figured out
insulin.
Insulin and stuff, right? So
there was an extra history thing I saw where it was like they were experimenting. They finally figured out insulin. They go to these beds where their kids like
are dying,
almost in a coma, and then they put the insulin in, and then they just wake up instantly.
It's I want to say it's ketoacidosis, but I don't think that's the word. It's something like that. I think it has a K in it. But what it was they're essentially they had diabetes, and they were like, yeah, because remember this past century. In the 20th century, people had access to things like sugar and salt enough to kill them. Yeah. Right? Like this is the first time in history that people could have things like salt and sugar that we are now in danger of it killing us on a daily basis, right? Which, because remember, salt causes high blood pressure, hypertension, all that kind of shit, and sugar is.
I don't really fuck with sugar like that, though. Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
It's in everything. Remember, bread in the United States and in Canada can be regarded as cake because of the sugar.
I do eat a lot of bread. I will say I fuck with a lot of bread, but I don't eat candy. I drank a lot of sugary drinks when I was a kid in like my early 20s, but I don't really now. And hell, I drink White Claw mostly now for alcohol.
Check the sugar on that.
Sugar is low for alcohol compared to everything else.
Remember,
give me the number here. I gotta hear this.
I need the number.
What, 2 grams
of
sugar?
Okay. Number of servings per can.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't know what's high and what's low. I don't even know what a gram of sugar looks like. I know it don't look like a gram of weed. I'll tell you that much.
It looks like a gram of other stuff though.
Yeah,
it's comparable. You're good. It looks in everything. It's fine. Yeah. Unless you get the purple shit, then you're on your own. But
works out. Stuff in the Sunny D commercials, wasn't it?
Well, yeah,
Sunny D is cocaine, bro.
Yeah, hey, Sunny D is 100 calories. Holy shit.
Okay, so that is also because it's soda, right? Like it's not. It's a seltzer. That is a helpful thing, but remember too is that alcohol gets processed as sugar as well. right?
Mhm.
So that's why it's. And when you have 9, it doesn't make a difference. You're like, it's
Yeah.
low. It's like a friend of mine. He's been drinking booze-free beer for the last little while because he's got a problem, and he's like, "Yep, I'm in the hospital." I'm like, "Yeah, well, what's gonna happen?"
What
It's,
the wait? Got a problem is in alcoholism or sugar?
yeah,
So,
his liver's failing.
Dino,
So
you have diabetes? You never told me this.
I do. Well, so the best part is because of the weight. So my diabetes has been quite late, right? Like I found out when I was 40. Or no, 39, I think. It was 39 just before the pandemic. And then like that's the thing is I just ate dog shit food.
You're my
And like
problem. I have a shit diet, bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
me too.
also too very heavy in breads and stuff like that. And then you find out that my big issue is my liver though, because I have what's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is essentially you're so fat that is now on your organ. And luckily I caught it in time, and that's when I really started losing weight. And then I went to a specialist. Kind of he wanted to try a new drug, and I gained weight with that. I gained like 40 pounds, and then
Wow.
and that was in October. And I'm like, fuck everything. I'm doing it by myself. Everybody can go eat shit and die. And sure enough, that's worked out great. I am kind of plateauing around 320 pounds, but ultimately, I'm still awesome. So, but
That's
yeah,
so funny to me
I
that
mean,
like there's
320
a
is good,
disease.
man. You're getting there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's so funny to me that there's a disease where your body's like, we've run out of places to put the fat.
Kind of,
Fuck.
yeah.
Liver.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that's the weird thing is like then you start finding out that like because I have pills for cholesterol and my thyroid,
Mhm.
and both of those are connected to your liver. So if like your liver starts fucking up, it kind of causes a chain reaction through your body. Same thing with diabetes as well, is like your kidneys start to do weird shit, your liver starts to do weird shit, everything kind of falls in thing. But then you're like, okay, like then like I've been doing intermittent fasting, and like some days I'll just try and fast the whole day and just be like I'll not eat, and then by 6 o'clock I'm like, well, I can't eat at nighttime, so see you tomorrow, stomach. And which isn't healthy. I'm not saying I'm not a doctor, but essentially I've eaten more than enough meals for a long time, so
Mhm.
I'm good.
Well, I don't think I have diabetes, Dino. I just
Hey,
um
you probably have diabetes. And also too, listen, let me know, I can send you cheap drugs because I'm in Canada.
that's fair. That's a good point.
Oh.
But
I should have hit you up about my my seizure meds because like
we could find out.
oh yeah no
I'm invincible though, so
one thing that does help is my neurologist, like they'll get like samples from the pharmaceutical company.
Nice.
And like
Test
at the start of this year where I have to like I guess renew it. The doctor has to like renew it with my insurance company. Otherwise it'll be like, meh, we're not gonna pay. Like nothing's changed otherwise. So when I thought I was like, oh shit, I might be like out of Aptium, one of my drugs, my neuro was like, yeah, so here's a literal bag like this big of just samples.
Nice.
And then I cracked them all open, and it was like a month and a half of pills.
Nice.
And they just have them sitting in a cabinet somewhere.
That happens a lot, right? And especially like I know here before I had benefits, my GP was like, "Oh, if you don't have benefits, I'll see if I have a sample of it." And I was like, "Oh, wicked,"
Yeah.
The only problem was when it was like real drugs. He's like, "Yeah, no, you gotta go. Like if it was
Yeah.
pain medicine or something like that, you have to go to because they're crazy, right? Like here, you can get now in BC, it's okay to get cocaine, but heaven forbid if that's actually happening in BC.
That's pretty wicked.
But it's what that's the thing is like I read an article where a girl was like, I tried chewing coca leaves all week, and this is how I found my performance was better. I had more energy, and I'm like, yeah, this is called cocaine, bitch.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Stupid. Like
there's a reason that a coca leaf tea is just like a thing in I think it's Peru.
Yeah.
Where the Andes are, because like that society they just did cocaine, like coca leaf. They were like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I know. I told my mom that you could just get a cocoa leaf and it's not illegal to have, and she was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, like I don't know, like why do you ask? She was like, I didn't know. Like, but I think I'm gonna start getting into botany. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's some
yeah,
people were
I know
not destined for production. Just
for some like one of my meds is it literally just finished clinical trials.
for real.
So I have to do it through the.
bro,
It's
you
kinda like,
just hop on shit that's brand new. I swear to God. I don't know what it is with you Californians, but you're like, oh, there's a new drug. Let me try it. Let me be the clinical trial.
well, first off, they do a lot of clinical trials in California because there's
that makes fucking sense.
There's a lot of people, and
I don't think it's the amount of people. I
Mind
think it's the
blown.
amount of nuts.
well, no,
The
a lot
amount
of
of
people,
willing people.
institutions like St. John's and UCLA, which are big research institutions, are here. Like, come on,
No, it's because y'all are trusting. Y'all are like, oh, science says what? Yeah, okay. I'm
Well, anyway.
the only fucking atheist who also doesn't trust science. Like, I swear to God.
That's healthy though.
So
I don't trust the imaginary friends or the capitalist friends. Neither one. Sorry,
if anybody has ever gone, man, I wonder what it would be like to listen to Dale from King of the Hill be on a podcast. Go listen to Generation Dan.
Yeah, it's accurate.
All I'm saying is, okay, at one point there was a Sky Daddy, and then in another on the other side, not too long ago, they're like, you could just fall off the earth. Like, you know what I mean? Both of them are wrong recently. So
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, it's the whole idea that people are like, God's watching you masturbate, so don't do that. And on the other side, they're like, hey, you should take this because if you don't, you're part of the problem. It's like,
right, yeah, like
neither one of those is true.
They used to put leeches on you to clear your blood out to make you clean, like feel better. You know, like
listen. And that's a whole other thing. But remember, we used to do bloodletting, and now we give people blood when people what they need is volume, right? The problem is that's expensive, and especially in Canada, people give blood for free. Okay, it's not a business like it is down in the States.
Yeah,
here we're all a bunch of suckers. We just give it. You're like, oh, this is mine, but you can have it. I only paid for food that made it. Bullshit.
The only reason I can't donate blood is because I take seizure meds, so it's a blood thinner.
Listen, that's a whole big thing. I know Victoria, because she was born in the UK, they don't accept blood from her either. Which I was like, that's
why the UK?
Weird. I don't know, but they're like people born in the UK during these periods. They're like, you can't donate blood.
I mean, would you want blood from somebody from the UK?
A lot of things from her, actually. That's she's my wife.
Not her blood.
I'll take whatever she's.
I know there is that thing where like
I'm a whore.
The thing where like if you're gay, you can't donate blood. Is that still a thing?
I believe so.
I think it is. Is it?
Because of the AIDS.
I think they started screen. So the big thing is, well, that's because
because of AIDS, and like now, like you can get AIDS from anybody. They're not just gay anymore.
That's always been the case, but
that is always
the
been
point
the case.
is more so that
one gay guy decided he wasn't gay anymore, and he also had AIDS at that point. You know,
no. The whole thing is that because of PrEP, I think there's a lot more or less occurrences too. So I think that what they started doing was you can, but you have to be screened for it. So you have to show that you had a blood test in the last little while. And because I know there's been multiple times in history when there were massive outbreaks of like hepatitis A, B, and C because of those donations. AIDS, that happened in where was it?
You can cure hepatitis C now, or I can't, or you can't, but the doctors can.
I just imagine Cole coming up where it's like, hey man, I found out the cure for Hep C. It's White Claw, Dayquil, and Sprite. Like that's the
it's
cure.
The Dayquil chicken.
Hey, not taken orally. Just so everyone knows.
It's an enema.
It's an enema. I believe at that point it's called a suppository because it stays up there for a while.
Okay, well there's the episode title, White Claw Enema. Which
White Claw Enema, White Claw Suppository.
White Claw Enema also sounds like it could be SpongeBob SquarePants' evil twin.
White Claw Enema.
Yeah, that works.
White Claw Enema.
White Claw Enema.
Yeah.
Jazz hands. Yeah, that definitely ends at jazz hands.
Yeah.
Maybe starts with jazz hands too. Yeah, our subject was the devil.
Like, what stuff is the devil, or literally the devil?
I feel like it's both sides of that, right? Like realistically, everyone has said that money is the devil, greed can be the devil. Women, 100% very possibly in the top 5 as to who could be the devil.
Might be a reason why we don't have a lot of female guests on the show, and that we should.
Foosball. Foosball is the devil. Everybody knows this. From
Foosball is the devil. That's true too.
What is that called? Waterboy.
Waterboy. Yeah.
My mama said the foosball is the devil. And can I just say that movie? I watched the movie when I was like 14, and I was like, I never related so hard to another retard character. Or I'm sorry, I had to bleep that. You're gonna have to bleep that out. But like a handicapped character, I was like, why do I feel like I'm the? He's from the South. His family's from Louisiana. He's cooped up and held hostage by his mother. His mom is telling him the whole world is negative, and he just wants to play sports. Like, I was just like, I hit the trifecta on that one.
Yeah. I feel like you're missing the most integral part, that being that you have driven a lawnmower to school. I feel like that's the real. How
Dino, I cannot afford a lawnmower.
I didn't say it was riding. It was just it was downhill, and you're like,
couldn't afford a lawnmower. Get the fuck out of my face. My mom one time this is a crazy story. Okay, like it's not gonna go long, but it's a crazy story. All right, we were getting snakes real bad. Okay, that's the thing you have to deal with in Texas.
Stop for a second.
Snakes where?
In our yard.
Okay. All right.
What do you mean where?
The house, the car, I don't know. The garage.
Laundry. There's a lot of questions.
It's the yard. Okay, the front yard, the backyard,
your vicinity,
the side yards.
Okay.
The grass, wherever the grass was. Okay, our grass was too tall. Okay, we're just straight up. It's just imagine the white trashiest place you can think of. The grass is definitely almost 3 feet tall. Like
Paradise City, yes.
Yeah. Okay. My mom bought. This isn't something she's not done. This is something she has done before, mind you. She bought a lawnmower, and we mowed the front yard, the backyard, everything real quick, and then we wiped it all down, and then we put it back in the box, and then returned it.
Oh yeah,
I've done that before. That's why
you buy stuff from Costco.
Yeah,
it did not satisfy my needs, and they go, okay, what's your reason for returning it? I don't like it.
We returned it and pretended like we didn't open it. We just sliced.
Oh, you're like, be careful with that tape. Make sure that packing tape's perfect.
Yeah,
don't take any of the card.
So she could get all her money back.
I've watched people return stuff and go, "This was already used. I bought it new." Hey, and you're like, you clearly used it and are trying to return it. They're like, no, that's not what happened. I opened it and I realized, oh my God, somebody's already used this. I want a new one. And you're like, and then they're like, you know what? I just want to return it. I don't want any part of this. And you're just like,
Dino,
okay.
Can I just say, I've been to Canada. My mother took me to Canada. It was probably her.
Did okay, so growing up, I know Jehovah's Witness, whatever the hell your parents were doing.
Baptist, with Southern Baptist. You know, the motherfuckers that don't dance, like in Footloose.
Oh, shit.
Southern Baptist.
They dance without their hands, though, just their feet. Just their feet. Their feet are moving.
They don't do that either.
Okay, so
we're not allowed to drink. We're not allowed to smoke, although we all do it.
Of course. Chew tobacco and stuff like that.
Oh, and we judge the fuck out of people.
Besides the point, but first off, I learned that was it Vlad the First or something, the leader of the Kievan Rus, picked Christianity as the religion for Russia because he's like, well, the Muslims don't let us drink, so gonna go with Christianity. Anyway, that's beside the point. My question was,
I agree with that guy.
Yeah, for you guys, what was your relationship with your parents going, that thing's the devil? Don't do that, or like, you can't do this thing. Like, the devil, was it used as a scare tactic growing up for you guys, or?
No.
She never used the word the devil, but okay, this is gonna sound crazy. Okay, I know maybe not
Hold
to
on.
Dino.
You're saying the rest
Dino's
of
a
this
little
hasn't sound
older,
crazy? Okay.
but Alice, this is gonna blow your mind. Okay, but my very first girlfriend was black. Okay,
Okay.
I'm blown.
and when I told my mom this, she was like, "Honey, you can date whoever you want. You just can't bring her over here." Which I think is the black girl is the devil type of thing. Don't date black girls. Don't have babies with them. Type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, and I just like it's just like, oh my god! Like my mom's a racist, but like not really because she said I could date her, but like I'm confused.
I just imagine her being like, okay, so just don't bring her over. Oh, and by the way, later we're gonna have a talk about something called the Great Replacement Theory.
Well, like, see, yeah, no.
Which I gotta say, my mom is like way different person now. Like she's not like one of my brothers is dating a black girl for like several years. My mom has no problem with it. Okay. My sister's dated a black guy, like for whatever reason, because I was the firstborn, and my mom was like, she grew up on a farm. Like it was just like not okay when I was a kid, but now she's like, whatever, you know, like she's integrated.
It's cool for the younger one, but for the older one, you can't do it.
I'm the golden child. I have to marry white. Like, it worked because I knocked up a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl.
You know,
got to keep that Aryan blood going.
See, my parents were like NPR neoliberal hippies.
You don't say.
So I'm saying that like their way of like trying to get you to not do stuff, right? Or instead of being like, that's the devil, don't do it. Harry Potter's the devil. Which, by the way, my fiance is watching the Harry Potter movies as we speak through that door.
She missed the last Dumbledore, the last of the new ones.
She never watched or never read the books or watched the movies growing up. So this is her first.
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, Fantastic Beasts. The third one we haven't watched yet because it was in theaters and we still. Yeah. Well, we actively hate people, so we don't want to be around them. But now,
right.
You know? So with regards to us, the devil, it was like the devil. The perception of the devil was very much like a active person or rival to good and God.
So there was a dude sneaking around out there, like
no, not in that way, in that way. Like this is the thing: is being raised by Greek parents, you get a different kind of knowledge, right? Because it's philosophical, it's perception, it's understanding the waves of time and the cycles of life, right? Like it's a very unique way of perceiving things. Like I give the example that, like, for so many things, you have to start, like with math, you would start with counting numbers, then addition, subtraction, multiplication, and slowly you get to more complex and like theoretical physics and all sorts of crazy stuff, right? But like there's a whole knowledge that you can spend 20 years learning, right? So understanding that the devil wasn't just out there, but he was scheming to create an influence, right? So it was a constant thing that we always perceived, right? So it wasn't like some guy named Lucifer, like the show, is out there trying to convince people to do wrong. You're like, no, he can't. All he does is give you the opportunity. That's the crazy part, right? Both sides are just give the opportunity, and you can choose one. So it was never weirdo shit like what Cole lived through,
or something like, oh, it's witchcraft or magic or the devil, whatever.
No, because that's a real.
I don't think me growing up with a racist parent in the South is weird. Like what?
No, but
it's more weird on a scale of time and existence, right? I'll tell you why.
My mom's nearly 50.
Yeah, but like now, right? Like your mom is one of my siblings' age, right? Like that's
she grew up in East Texas on a farm.
I know, I understand.
Okay, okay, you don't know because you ain't been to Texas, really. You don't know, and Alice, you probably don't know. But East Texas, there is like a phrase, okay? In Texas, we have this saying, okay?
Oh God.
The more the pine trees per capita, the dumber people are. It's something in the wind. Okay,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you can smell pine, then everybody loses brain cells. Okay, there's a shitload of pine trees in East Texas. Okay, and that's what it comes down to. You get a lot more racist, a lot more people who fuck their cousins. Just that shit. In general. Granted, I even may have fucked one of my cousins out there in East Texas. It just melts your brain.
Hey,
So
the viewpoints against pine trees are not shared with everyone on this podcast.
that's why I don't understand why people have them in their houses during Christmas time. If you're gonna buy something stupid,
I really think this is more of a.
The more pine trees, the less people. That is true, though.
I think that's more of a broken clock thing. I don't think pine trees actually make you stupid.
I think you smell pine, and you're
it's
just.
It's the sign of wilderness.
It's like Clorox. You spray too much Clorox in your fucking house, it smells like pine, and then you pass out.
Think of it this way. So, like, if you're like a human settlement and you cut down the trees to make a settlement and then a village and then a city and then whatever, there are going to be less and less pine trees.
Yes.
It takes knowledge to, get people there and build the city and things like that. Now, if you don't have the knowledge to do all that stuff, if you like grow up in one town and never leave it your entire life, and then you're like, oh my god, trans people are the devil because I know, like, my high school football coach is also in my poker night or whatever, then, like, of course it's like a correlation causation thing. Like, the pine trees don't actually make you stupid. I can't believe I have to say this to him.
I love that you tried to make sense of it.
I tried.
You did, but the whole idea is that pine trees take a very long time to seed, right? So the bigger the wilderness, the more untouched the wilderness, the more likelihood there are pine trees.
Yeah, less people.
I got this itchy, like, dry spot on my elbow, and I just Googled it, and that's the side effect of diabetes. Holy fuck! I gotta go get checked.
Okay, or
I've been putting lotion on it for months, and it's not going away.
No.
I love that we achieve something every time we have a podcast. Like, we figure out something.
Scare each other.
Well, we definitely just get yourself checked, everybody. Just for anything.
Well, I'm thirsty all the time. I got itchy elbow. It's dry as shit. And then whatever Dino said, I forget now, but apparently that was a sign.
Yeah, the whole peeing and not actually having to pee, and as well as do you wake up to pee in the middle of the night?
I'm like Turkleton from Scrubs.
Yeah.
He was diagnosed at 29 also.
Yeah, like frequent urination is a sign of diabetes because your body is trying to get rid of sugar, so it makes you pee a lot to get rid of the sugar.
Well, can I just get rid of the sugar and also get rid of the diabetes?
Start having Metamucil in the morning, first thing. It's very
good. What the fuck is that?
You don't know what Metamucil is? Oh,
no,
you guys need to.
From the Midwest.
Colon health, okay? Colon health is just good health. Metamucil is essentially.
Can I put stuff in my butt?
No.
Your butt.
I mean, I'll do it.
It tastes like Tang. It tastes like Tang.
You mix
it with water, stir it up really fast, and then
it tastes like pussy.
No, not Tang.
It's an enema that tastes like pussy. That's crazy.
It's Tang that tastes like the astronauts eat. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, like,
and I'm going to space.
You know the commercials where Jamie Lee Curtis is like, I eat this yogurt and it makes me poop better.
Yes.
And, like, I'm not going to say that, but that's the commercial.
Is that what that means? That's regular?
Metamucil's
I just thought she was a basic white bitch. I didn't know what regular meant.
Hey, Jamie Lee Curtis is not basic, and she is smoking hot, even as an old lady.
No, she's not.
Listen, you shut your mouth, okay?
She had giant titties in the 80s, but them milkers have shrunk up over the years.
Listen, there's an issue with that, but also, like, her and Sigourney Weaver, goddamn, bro.
Yeah.
You know who's fucking hot as shit? And I was watching the other day, realizing it was Michelle Pfeiffer. I was like,
oh, bro.
She's in her 60s, and I was still hit.
Yeah, no.
And Kira Sedgwick, too. What is her name? What is his name? Kevin Bacon's wife?
But she looks like she might bite it a little bit. You know? She's got them snarly teeth.
The pain?
Yeah.
Oh, I think
I'm okay with that. If it's a little nibble, I'm okay.
I don't think it'd be a little one.
I'm good with a little nibble. I'm okay with that.
Nah, man. Michelle Pfeiffer's been good since Scarface.
Michelle Pfeiffer has been so fucking fine, just always.
let's be honest. Batman Returns Michelle Pfeiffer is like elite level.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
Elite level teenage fantasy. Like that's not.
Bro, that was the first time I felt some type of way about a girl.
Yeah.
I was like probably like 4 or 5 when I seen that movie. I was like, oh, I definitely like girls.
The best part is she starts off as like a just like secretly hot librarian, and you're like, I'm interested.
I think that's what did it for me. I think that was the
very
part.
possible. Very possible.
And then she turned into the leather wearing, which is which opened up my like problem in life.
Also fair.
She doesn't die no matter how many times you push her off the balcony.
Yeah. And then she just
can't
wants
say
to be
the
loved.
same for Alan Rickman. Although I guess that wasn't a balcony. That was like a... right.
Everything's a balcony if you fall off it.
Yep. Everything's a ledge if you fall off of it.
Yeah. I went to a show last night and I did some time on stage, and one guy was like, I've seen 2 people fall to their death, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was just like, God, man, it's some of that shit. I have lived in too nice of areas my whole life where it's like people see crazy shit all the time and I just don't understand. And then I met Cole and I'm like, oh, it's like I'm in LA. I'm like, there's always crazy shit in LA. There's no question.
If I do it, it's premeditated, okay?
What, crazy shit? Or...
Yeah, for sure.
Pushing
I don't think I'm actually as crazy as I come off, okay? Because I plan everything. I mean to like tap on your window in the middle of the night to ask you who that new guy is. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. So all right.
Stay toxic. Yeah.
Okay. This, I'm pretty sure, might have been the actual devil. Did you guys ever see the movie Smile?
No.
We just saw it, bro.
Okay. All right. So the girl in the first scene who gets affected by the monster.
Yeah.
The first one. Okay. Yeah. I was coming home from work a few days ago, and I did my shortcut where I walked along the river and then hopped the fence, so I'm back next to my apartment. There was...
Wait. Are you saying that on a regular basis you hop a fence to get home?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that. I need a video of that. Just
you live in an institution, don't you, Alex?
It's a lot of grunting and a lot of like.
Have you seen Falling Down? Have you seen Falling Down? I'm just saying.
I haven't seen that either.
You really need to see Falling Down and The Game. I feel like that's the Falling Down may be Atlas's daily experience. I just feel
okay.
Anyway, go on.
It's kind of okay when I'm hopping a fence. You know how like in the Mario games when Yoshi jumps and he does this with his legs.
Yes.
Yeah. So that when I'm like trying to get over the fence. But anyway,
Atlas, you need to exercise.
Yeah,
you need to like upper body strength, man. Yeah. Come on. I can teach you. That's all I know how to do. When it comes to exercise, upper body strength, I'm great at everything else. I'm terrible at. I can teach you upper body strength.
You're gonna be a hilarious old person. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true. Also, he definitely looked like you're jerking off 2 guys over your shoulders.
Like I have, most of my family has been in and out of jail. Like I know how to do this shit. You know what I mean? Just legs are tiny as shit. I'm a little bit fat, but fucking chest and shoulders, man, stacked.
He's like a baby legs from Rick and Morty. Anyway,
he's got the build of Tyson Fury, but like on a normal sized person. He's like, look at me.
All right. Great. So I hopped the fence, and like when I landed right next to my building, like on the sidewalk a little ways down, there was a lady who looked exactly like the girl at the beginning of Smile. And she like gave me this weird look, like the thing where they give you this look and you hear blah, like that shit in your soul.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is creepy. So I go inside the front door of my building and I start checking the mail. And then she appears up against the door. It's a glass door, so you can see outside. She's like up against the door, and she's not taking a picture of me with her phone. She's doing this with her hands, like pantomiming, taking a picture. I was like, this is creepy.
She's saving you for later, my friend.
Yeah.
She was like, let me get that ginger.
I go up to my apartment and then
give me some ginger ale, you know what I mean?
About half an hour later, I come out and I round the corner to go down the stairs. She's there in the stairwell. and like I nearly fell over.
Hey man, did you call the police? Because like
I
that's
I
dangerous
was
these
about
days.
to. Okay, well, she was about half my size, but also scary as shit. And I was
Yeah.
like, Jesus fuck!
She's half
What?
your size until you're knocked out from the fucking chloroform.
Yeah. No, and she goes like, "Were you following me?" I was like, "No,
What?
you're following me. Get out!"
That's some shit I do in
Yeah.
the grand scheme.
Bro.
That's some
Yeah.
shit. Like if I was stalking a bitch and she's seen me, I'm like, "Were you following me?" Like that's just thinking on my feet, bro.
So I walked like like as I was like get out, and I was walking. I took the long way around, so I'd walk by the super's door
Yeah.
and be like,
Yeah.
yelling at her. And then he comes out, and then I run over and throw my thing in the laundry. I come back out, the super's yelling at her.
Yeah.
That he's gonna call the cops.
Yeah. Good.
So he's like, just get back your apartment. I got this. So I go in my
Awesome.
apartment, come out after 20 minutes, and I'm like, what happened? And he goes, okay, it's a homeless woman who was convinced that you were following her because you hopped the fence. Then, after she couldn't get in your door, she went into the laundry room and started going through people's stuff trying to steal shit. And then he caught her and kicked her out. But just like, holy shit, dude.
So you can't get away with that if you're homeless? I'm so glad I have an apartment. Can I just say, I have been stealing shit from my apartment's laundromat for 7 years.
There's a ghost in there.
I have been taking shit because there are signs all over the laundromat in our building that says the Drake. What's the name of the apartment? The Drake is not responsible for lost items, and if you leave your shit in there for more than a day, I'm gonna go through it.
Who the fuck Hold on.
Bro, there are people who leave their shit in there for weeks.
Oh, then they deserve it. That's fine. No, that's if you leave it longer than the time of the cycle doubled. So it's like if you were in there.
No, I will never go through somebody's shit.
Yeah.
I will never go through somebody's shit if it's only been there for a couple of hours, okay? Because I do the same shit. But if it's been there for a day, because I go to the laundromat every day just to see what's in there. I know that's weird.
That's really weird. Like that's
really weird. Sketchy, just to see, I have been making a living, or not a living, but like a savings off of not having to buy clothes, okay? For 7 years.
In all honesty, if people are leaving their stuff for over a day, that's disgusting. My opinion.
That's how I feel. It's a moral thing. It's like I'm not really stealing because you left it in there.
Especially because like our thing only has 2 machines each, so it's like, come on, man.
Oh, we got we have 10 washers and 10 dryers in the building.
Okay. All right.
But okay, hold on. But Atlas, you guys are more like low rise, right? It's only like 2-3 floors or something, or 4 floors.
2 floors.
Okay,
It's like around this courtyard, so it's in a big circle.
Okay,
there's 40. There's like 40 or so rooms per floor, and there's 7 floors.
Okay, so yeah, so that's the difference, right? Like for especially, you know what I always what really irks me, especially in Canada, is the same thing. Is if it's 3 stories, you don't need to have an elevator, which you're like, okay, fine. However, every 3-story building has a raised basement, which also has apartments, and then it's 3 stories, and you're like, okay, fuck you guys. Yeah, you're just assholes, right? Just bake the fucking elevator. Don't be a fucking
here in America,
I'm not touching you.
Here in America, land of the very handicapped, you have to have an elevator no matter what if there's more than 1 floor because it's handicapped. So we have a shitload of handicaps in this country, by the way.
I'll be honest with you. I've written it out and I haven't performed it yet, but I have an entire thing about how going to Mexico, my connecting flight to where I was to my destination, they served peanuts, and I was like, I'm carrying peanuts around for good as like close quarter defenses, because you know what? If you shouldn't have survived PB&J sandwiches, you have no sort of claim to how life should be lived. Period.
Bro, I had Five Guys for the first time ever yesterday, and my brother's
Friday for you.
My brother's the manager there, right? And he gave it to me for free.
Nice.
And so, which is why I have a first time because it's like $35 for a sandwich for a burger and fries. So like I don't what that's probably like 70 pesos in Canada. I don't know. But so he gave it to me for free and I'm eating this shit. I'm like, damn, this peanut oil is good.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my god, dude, I
is.
miss peanut oil. I haven't had peanut oil since I was like 3 years old. Like reminiscing to the like Columbine years.
Listen, I'm just saying is like if you like Atlas is lucky that his epilepsy is not the flashing light kind because immediately everyone is just like right into his face, right? And he's like, yeah, it doesn't work. And you're like, ah, right? Atlas may be the devil for that reason alone. Okay, he's like, I have epilepsy that you can't watch. Ha 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 ha! It's
what just
immediately starts flashing.
Yeah, of course. I don't, and also that's not even fast enough. That's like turning the lights on and off.
This is fast as it goes.
By the way, okay, I went and saw Ant-Man and Wasp, and everywhere,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
It had signs about it's like, yo, there's crazy flashing lights, so be ready. And I was like,
there was no flashing lights in that movie, by the way.
Not for normal people, but for other people, they have real like it's quite a lot to take in because like a lot of flashing lights. We're just looking, going, wow, sparkly. Whereas for them, they're going, I'm being assaulted. Right?
Well, one of my first dates with my baby mom was going to a rave, so which should have been a red flag.
That's the kind of lights that'll give you epilepsy. The strobe lights,
definitely.
Yeah, like my third date, my baby mama wasn't wearing clothes in public, so like I should have known.
It's crazy, like how little it would take to set some people off. Like, you know that episode of Pokemon where with Porygon in it, where it gave a bunch of children seizures because there's but that literally I watched that clip. It's less than 3 seconds. Those
and
lights.
It really fucked people up.
Yeah, and like there were kids all over Japan who were having seizures because of it.
Well, they're Japanese, though.
That's why Japanese
like that has nothing to do with
we dropped.
Okay?
Why they lost the war?
We dropped 2 nukes on them. Who knows what kind of fucking damage we did to the people?
Listen, we are responsible for Godzilla. There's no question. Okay,
not Canada, us.
Listen, sir.
You don't have to take responsibility. It's fine. But also at the same time, it's kind of cool that we took responsibility for Godzilla.
I'm just saying, as a Greek man, I am responsible for all of the white people in the world.
Were
the Greeks white?
Olive skin mostly, but that's the thing is like we're the kind of we're the middle ground before you get like Middle Eastern versus the rest of Europe where it starts to get much lighter skin. So it's more of an olive tone as opposed to something you would consider to be
definitely started slavery. I'll tell you that much.
What's it called again? Balkans? The Balkans? No.
Well, Balkans are further north, right? So we are Mediterranean.
Okay.
But it's more olive skinned. And the further south you get, the more olive-skinned it would be. But you've seen some people that will have significantly darker skin. But also, too, there's a lot of farmers.
What kind of olives do you eat? Because the olives I eat are black.
I'm not really a fan of olives. It's too salty.
You're Greek. What the fuck?
How many guns?
Hey, by the way, Katie and I are watching wedding movies like all through the record.
Please don't do that. Yeah,
I got one right here, bro.
And we watched,
always ready. What do you mean how many guns I own? I'm American and Texan.
Holy shit! Just stop doing that, so we don't have to take this down, you dumb shit. Sorry, Atlas. You were saying something. You were selecting movies.
We were watching wedding movies like all this year. So like Wedding Crashers, The Wedding Singer, stuff like that. Best Friend's Wedding. We watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Now I gotta ask. How offensive is that movie to you?
No, I don't find offensive at all. That dad, very similar to my own father. Also, too, when that man, so essentially we took my dad kicking and screaming to go see it. And he sat down in a theater like this.
Yeah.
And watched it until the young white man says Christos Anesti, which is a horrible pronunciation of Greek. And the dad looks at him and goes, when my people were writing philosophy, your people were still swinging from trees. And my dad goes, bah! And he's like, it's true. White people are stupid. It was great. The funny thing was that my sister married a white man. And that
Dino,
scene.
you're white.
No, I'm so much more. But the key was this. It's okay. Don't worry. I'll show you someday. Was the scene where she?
Actually, the absence of light, but okay.
This is from my mother. She was a sorceress. So the funny thing was that that scene where they're just sitting, drinking wine, barely talking, listening to music.
Yeah.
My sister's like, we've done that at his parents' house, and I'm like, holy shit! And when they came, because they're described as a toast family, and my father said to them, he's like, hey, you guys, have you seen Greek Wedding? You got to see Greek Wedding. I'm in it, and you're in it too. And we're like, oh Jesus, Dad, why? Why do you say these things? But yeah, that's exactly how they were. They're the whitest of white people.
Can we just talk about how My Big Fat Greek Wedding was a good movie? It was a very good movie. I loved it. It's not one of my favorites, but it was a very good movie. But Crazy Rich Asians, the exact same fucking movie. Also a very good movie. Same fucking movie, which I'm fine with, but every culture should have one of these kinds of movies. We should stop being afraid of being offended or whatever. You know what I mean? Like every culture we should teach people what it is to have these cultures. You know what I mean? So people like me, because I'm a dumbass and I'll just start asking questions to people, not knowing that I'm offending them, and all I want to know is, what's it like living in Mexico? Oh, it sucks. Oh, why? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know. I'm curious, though.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the big things, right? Is that like you've seen that guy who dressed up in like a poncho with a sombrero and a fake mustache, and he went to a university, and all the university students are like, "You're being offensive," and da da da. Then he went to a Mexican neighborhood, and everyone was like, "Wicked clothes, bro."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Am I offending you?" They're like, "No, it's awesome. Thank you."
That's the other thing is like it seems like white people are more offended about
they have nothing
cultural appropriation than anybody else.
Guy, this is the problem, is that if you are approaching something from a place of hate and looking down on people, you're a horrible person. But if you go there with an open mind and you're going, hey, I just want to learn something cool. Do I look okay? People are like, fuck yeah, man, let's go have a beer. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I have Mandarin on my arm, and it's not cultural appropriation, in my opinion. It's a cultural celebration. You know what I mean?
Does it say soup? Does it say?
No, it says Gongzi Fa Chai,
which is
hope you get rich.
Oh, okay.
It's what they say for Happy New Year in China.
I thought that was Gung Hei Fat Choi.
Gung Hei Fat Choi, but
however you pronounce it, I don't know. I'll go with Dino because Dino's married to a Chinese person.
No, I messed it up too.
I'm pronouncing it with my white brain that was raised in the South from a fucking Southern Baptist mom who lived on a farm and told me I wasn't allowed to date a black girl. Okay, it's gonna sound wrong.
It's the proper Mandarin Texan pronunciation, people. That's what we're looking for. It's a specific dialect that you only learn on the job. So,
and not only that, but I had a baby with a literal incestual islander whose family moved to America. You know what I mean? Like, the girl looks like the epitome of St. Patrick. So
okay, see, that's not incest. No.
Everybody on Ireland is incest. Okay, we know by now. Yes, there was a million people on that island
John
10 years ago. There's 3.5 million now.
Hey, also,
okay. Shout out to John, and I'm sorry.
Yes, John. Shout out to
John
you.
knows. John knows.
John knows. Also to Conan O'Brien, 100%. And you're like, yeah, that's definitely
Catherine Ryan. She said she was 90% Irish.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Anyways, hey guys, so like, share, and subscribe. I don't know who's watching this, but
leave a like, leave a comment.
Tell us what you want us to talk about, because let's be honest, we probably won't talk about it. We'll say we will, but we'll lie. We won't
Look,
talk about it.
if we're gonna lie to them, at least okay. You know what? It's at the part where the people click off of it already.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, so whatever.
Yeah, once I start talking, once I've said more than I have like a limit. Once I've said like 20 words, people are like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then it's since people aren't listening at this point, Lucifer had fucking sick abs, and they might be gay for him. Anyway.
Oh, for sure. But he's also very tall and powerful. Listen,
that's
let's be very clear.
Luann.
I haven't seen the last few episodes of that season. You know, they broke up the last season.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the last part, but I'm like, I really kind of hope that he bangs her, but at the same time, not really. I don't know. I feel like the devil should lose.
Are y'all talking about the show?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just talking about like the concept, but yeah.
Yeah, Lucy. Lucy is a female for sure.
Anyway, yeah.
Lucinda? Maybe.
At Generation Dan on Twitter, Generation_Dan on Instagram.
And we're starting to do reels and stuff. So
yeah, starting to do reels and stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a like on those.
They're starting to do reels. I've been doing reels, so
yeah, that's true. At Sniffing Glue 22 on all platforms.
They're a whole 2 years behind me, by the way.
If anything, he's our mentor for social media.
That sucks. Because I just found out that I'm going to need a box attached to my stomach.
Bye, everyone. Have a great night.